Hi there. So, if you haven't guessed, I live in the suburbs of Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. And if you haven't been listening to the news at all lately, or live in foreign countries, sorry. Yeah. But, yesterday, and today included, we received freakishly high temperatures of 38 degrees. With the humidity, because we live in a temperate rainforest. Woo! It felt like it was 40. More than 40. It was freaking hot. Hot to the point where, if you can't tell, I live in a basement suite. Well, you probably can't tell because all you see behind me is a big wall. But I live in a basement suite. It was hot enough that I went outside to cut herbs from the garden. I was outside for 5 minutes. I think that's a stretch on how long I was outside. Came back pouring in sweat. I had to go have a shower and lie on my kitchen room floor until my heart stopped racing because it was so freaking hot out. And yeah, I might look like I'm, a chubby chick. I don't weigh that much. I fucking walk everywhere. I don't drive a car, okay? So I'm not out of shape. I can't run a fucking marathon, but I'm able to keep up with my 2-year-old, well, almost 3-year-old son. So, any person that's a mother knows that keeping up with a 3-year-old is exercise. Even if you have a car to take him places, okay? So, the other thing is on Tuesday, on the walk home, my poor son, I've been having to take water bottles with with me to pick him up from daycare during the day, and so that he has something to drink on the walk home. It's about a kilometer walk. It's not that far. For a little gaffer, it's quite a ways, but he's been walking it for we're coming up on a year soon that we've been going to this daycare, and he's been walking it by himself a good part of the time since then. Part of it, and you can't really tell from the videos, is the reason why he walks is because he's a really big kid. Not fat, he's just tall. And proportioned for his height. I've had people mistake him for a 5-year-old. Frequently. Like, ask him what grade he's in. Or if he's excited about going to school. Which is sweet, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, no, not quite. So, in any case, with our water bottle, we're drinking it the whole way, and I'm pouring it on his head. He's soaked the whole way. We arrive home, like in the last block it takes to get from the top of the street to our house. The water that I poured on his head from the top of the street had dried, and he was as red as a lobster. Like Coke bottle red. And that's, I put SPF 60 on him before we left the daycare, all this. He had a hat, he had his shirt on, all this. And it's like, I was just half ready to, strip him down to his pull-up and let him walk that way just so he'd be a little bit more comfortable. But, we don't do that. So, in any case, it's been all over the news out here about how hot it is. And just northeast of me is Kelowna and Penticton and Cache Creek and those areas that are all experiencing pretty major forest fires right now. I find it really scary. This last winter was the worst winter I have seen since 1996. My son and I were literally, no shit people, literally snowed into the house for 2 weeks during my Christmas break. Thank goodness it was during my Christmas break, because I can't afford to take time off of school. But literally, I opened my door, and I was greeted with a wall of snow at the end of the steps that leads to ground level. We literally could not leave. You know. What made it worse was the neighbors at the top of the street had 5 people in the house, under 25, that were perfectly capable of shoveling their driveway for their 5 cars, and didn't. Instead, they just kept inching further and further into the road. The bottom of my street lives a firefighter, the fire chief, and he couldn't leave to go to work. The plows couldn't come in, any of that. So, you know, not to mention I was stuck in my house. The whole street was stuck in their houses because those guys were assholes. My point on this, though, is during these hot summer months, though it is great to have some heat, and great to have some sun, I just want to remind everyone out there to be really careful. You know, call your elderly, keep those people, you know, in mind. And if you have air conditioning, invite your friends over that don't. Seriously? Oh. You know, have a barbecue, invite them all over, and have them bring the food. You just be like, I'll provide air conditioning and a place to have it. You know, maybe some drinks. So, anyway, yeah, it's absolutely insane, and I just wanted to bitch a little bit. Although I wasn't really bitching, I was more informing. Yes. Anyway. Bye! I have to get the stop button. Cheers.